this video, we're going to show you a few different methods of watering plants depending on their size and their development stage. So off we go. When you water established plants like this tomato plant or anything that you transplant that already has a good root ball, what you do is you hold the water close to the soil and really hold the water on there, counting maybe to 5 or 10 depending on how quickly the water penetrates the soil. So once you start to see a puddle, you would move on to the next one. If that was less than 5 seconds, then you can go back in a second round and hold more water on it. So that's as simple as that. Really just hold the water on it and give it a good soaking. When it's dry like it is right now, so we haven't had any rain in probably 3 weeks now, it can be good practice to really do this twice over. So go through and then go again, especially because right now the tomatoes aren't in production yet, so we're not really risking any cracking. Later on, once they come into production, it's probably better to water them more frequently, but a little bit less water at a time. But right now we could give them like a really good soaking once a week and they would be just fine. When we're watering heading plants like a lettuce or a cabbage, it's important that we don't hold the water on top of the head, but actually come in from the bottom. Because if we were to water from the top, the water would actually not really reach where it really needs it, down by the roots, right at the base of the plant. And all the moisture in the head would lead to rot in the head. So the more we can keep the water away from the head itself, the better quality we will have. Now with something like a lettuce, you want to make sure to water it pretty regularly, especially when it's really hot out, so it doesn't get bitter. That's like the number one thing, is to really keep it well irrigated, and you will have a nice quality. And then of course also for the summer, it's important to have non-bolting varieties that can hold up to the heat. Okay, next we're going to water a just recently germinated crop of carrots, and this is done a little bit differently. So they've been seeded in a row and they're still really small, and we would use the same method for anything that has just been seeded and actually not germinated yet. So the way we do this, we turn on our water and we move the wand in a fairly swift movement over the row. So you can do all 4 rows that have been seeded here. There's still some more over here. And then I come back around and I repeat this 4 or 5 times. And I keep moving the wand pretty rapidly, so I don't have excessive puddling, because those little plants really don't like that at all. And also we're just losing the water by, if it puddles too much, it will just flow downhill, and we can already see this right now, so I will have to stop. I'm going to go to another bed and then return to the carrots to give them another 2 passes once all this water has absorbed. Okay, here's one more thing I want to show you. You may have noticed that there are these stakes at the corners of our beds, and they're there purposefully to help us move the hose in a way that it doesn't drag across the already planted beds. So if I have something like this here, I can move the hose along this way and it won't just drag across the lettuce heads and damage them all. That's all. So that's something to consider. How can you move the hose in a way that it doesn't, actually like drag across? If you need to put a prop in to help you with that, you can do that. So there's always, kind of a little bit of forethought, also noticing when something doesn't work the way you were thinking, and then you can make adjustments. I would like to show you again in form of a sketch how this water system is laid out. So as you come in, you come down the hill and there's a long pipe going this way, and then you come to the area where the pallet is standing upright, and there's a valve. When the valve is turned on, it's always in line with the water line, and following that is the water filter. Now this valve here is important because if you want to clean out the water filter, you'll just turn this off, open up the water filter, and then you can regulate flow here to clean out the water filter. and then you will put it all back together and open up here again. Now this goes around a bend, and then it divides into two lines, and this is, I think, where a lot of confusion occurs, so that's why I want to show you again in this little sketch video. So here you will find another valve. This will be turned on and this will be turned off. So I'm just going to mark it here on an angle because you can move it. And on this line here, there's a little water pressure regulator, and then there will be a valve as well. And this whole system is an either or system. So either you turn this line on or you turn this line on. So you turn this off, you turn this on, and vice versa. This line here without the pressure regulator leads to the water spigots where you attach the hose. So this goes all the way down to the field, and then there's several parts of pipe that will attach here to a little spigot with a turn valve on top, and that's where you can attach your hose, right? And the wand, it's kind of like a shower head, like this. And then on this line here on the other side is where we can attach drip tape, and this is particularly useful at the moment, the way the field is laid out. For the upper fields here, the upper tomatoes, apples, strawberries and garlic and raspberries and asparagus up there, and then as well as the very low field. So here we can attach the drip tape headers in here. There's little valves again, and then the drip tape actually runs all the way through the field with little teeny little holes, and once you turn these on, they will just keep running until you turn off the entire system. So usually we would run these for maybe 10 to 20 minutes on 2 to 8 lines at once. It's usually best to operate the ones on top of the field at the same time, and then maybe later turn on the ones on the bottom of the field, so you don't have too much pressure difference. So yeah, so usually if you use your watering wand, you will just turn this off completely, turn this on, and then you will have your water accessible there. So we're going to show you right now how to clean the filter. This has to be, I closed this already. So this is usually open. We close it, and then we open this up. And we can take out the filter, and we can actually use this water to clean it. So we can sort of like open this up a little bit. And also clean this part. And then what I like to do is I just take some of these comfrey leaves and really give this a good rub. It's kind of like a makeshift brush for the field. You could also have a proper brush, of course, like a bottle brush of some sort. It just seems to do the trick fairly well. I give this a good scrub, and then give a good scrub on the other side. Comfrey's very giving that way. We'll just make more leaves. Doesn't mind at all. And then I give this another rinse. Put everything back together, and that's it. And then of course open up here.